What's up, Internet? And we're live. I'm Chuck, the Liberty Geek. I cannot wait for the next episode of Hamatora. Let's talk some anarchy. Today I got a special guest. Say hello, Adam.
Hello! How's it going, guys? It's awesome to be here again. Feel like I'm becoming a regular. This is odd.
Oh, this is your second time. I've had Randall 3 times now. Ooh, baby.
That spotlight whore.
So today we're going to have a really interesting episode for you. I kind of want to throw my opinion out on this because I saw this report that CNN did on this topic and it was really god-awful. So, Sorry, I got left my YouTube video on and forgot to mute it. So, heard myself talking. So, CNN did this report about the fact that Japan just put out these increased harshness of child pornography laws where if you have child pornography, you know, you can get put in jail, fined, and all yada yada yada, right? But the liberal left in Japan, which is crazy, is really mad about the fact that what was defined as child porn did not include anime, which is basically Japanese cartoons for non-initiated, and as well as manga, which is Japanese comics. So a lot of people in there are mad. So there's one group that's trying to lobby that basically these quote-unquote child pornography animes and mangas should be banned, and you know every owner of those should be arrested as well, along with real child pornography. So there's one group fighting for that, and then there's the artists who are fighting against that, saying, well, that's dumb. There's no real children involved, so no real children are getting hurt. And I was curious, Adam, did you watch the video on CNN?
Yes, I did. But what about the children who are obviously going to be raped because some sicko in his basement is reading this stuff? Oh my god! Oh my god!
I know. Basically, that's how it was. And when I was watching this, I was like, where have I seen this kind of reporting before? And I was like, wait a minute. The media went after this with video games, and movies and TV, and now they're thinking about what other nerdy stuff is there that we can pick on. Hey, what about those people who like the Japanese shit? Yeah, go for that. So
I can't wait for the day for the media and for the state to try to go up against the people who play D&D. That will be a fight they will never win. Not like they're going to win this one anyways, but holy crap, they would really have to try some crazy shit to pull that off.
I honestly don't think that that this is going to happen. I don't think they're going to ban it. Because it is a very huge, this might sound weird, but like anime and manga in general is a very huge, multi-billion-dollar industry there, or at least multi-billion yen industry there, right? And this lolicon stuff that they're trying to ban and stuff is a big chunk of that, So, and I've been looking around and at other places that did a response to this article. One of the places was Crunchyroll, which is a anime and manga simulcasting streaming service, kind of like Netflix for anime. They did a response article. Well, they just posted that CNN did this article, and then the comments on the Crunchyroll side, they're all flaming CNN for bad reporting and and it's nuts. Like, the article is almost as bad as the video itself, but that video was awful. Oh, super biased. And one of the mangaka, who was basically taking up the charge and fighting against the liberals who are trying to have this stuff banned. His name is Ken Akamatsu. He is a mangaka there, or as the video called him, a cartoonist, which I guess is the proper translation. And he said, and when he mentioned that he himself had drawn comics or Japanese manga with this kind of stuff involved in it, he said that, I've done it, and the CNN reporter's like, yeah, but they're not getting raped in your stuff, are they? I'm like, Adam, it just drives me nuts.
Yeah, same here. And there's so many different ways that we can easily destroy this need to ban these sort of things. First, when we take a look at what they tried to do with video games, one thing with this industry is if people have access for $3 to $5 to $12, $15 to something, maybe these people have a sick fetish. Maybe they do like seeing children involved in various sexual exploits. And that is disgusting, that is sick, and I hope to God I never have to run into one of those people on the street. But if those people have to exist, and if those people are going to be out there, wouldn't it be better if they're getting off, looking at a freaking magazine or a book
or online where most of them are probably, yeah,
or a video of animated type.
It's not real.
It is not real. No real children are getting freaking hurt in this process.
I'm pretty much with you. I'm not a big fan of the lolicon stuff. One of my friends is. I won't name names. But no, really, I do have a friend that I won't name names, but he's probably watching, and I hope to God that I don't know. Okay, so we have some comments. Not JRW 1993 says that it's like linking gun violence to video games. It's bullshit, and he's right.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
And
right.
Matt Walton also says, it's like PETA and Pokemon. They're not doing any harm, and it's not real. Half the lollies have stupid stories making them 5 billion-year-old vampires anyways. They should just let it be. This is true. Slipknot JRW 1993 after that points out Dance of the Vampire Bund. Yes. So, lolicon is, like, it's a huge part of Japanese culture, and Ken Akamatsu said that if you ban this imagery, one, you're violating, their version of what they call free expression. Two, you will definitely hurt the industry. You might not kill it, but you'll definitely hurt it, not just money-wise. But imagine all the artists who no longer are going to be willing to put anything out because now they'll, be totally afraid of, being locked up for drawing something. For drawing something.
Right, and that's just so despicable that we're creating this kind of fear. But to kind of finish out my last point, wouldn't it be better if it was cheaper for somebody to get their rocks off on an animated drawing than to go out and take the risk of actually committing the crime, hurting a child?
Exactly.
I guarantee you, and this will be you will hear this here first and only, probably. If they are to do that ban, I will guarantee you within the first 2 years of that ban, you will see more child rapes than at any time in the history. Because people don't have access to the things that get their rocks off.
I completely agree with you. It's going to be... I don't think it'll happen, but if it did, I think that the results, especially... And not just Japan. You gotta remember, this stuff gets shipped international. This is, it's not just like, oh, the pedophiles are living in Japan. There is a problem. And you know what? Honestly, there is a pedophile problem worldwide. This is not, this is not just there. So I'd rather the whole world have access to this Japanese drawn stuff than a whole world of, people trying to become child rapists just because they can't, get off to their, their anime and their manga anymore. Okay, here's another thing. I'm gonna make myself look even worse. This thing about the CNN article was, they talked all about lolicon, but they didn't talk about shotacon, which is basically the same thing, but for little boys. Talk about complete gender bias, like, oh, we only care about the girls. Little boy stuff, that's cool. Like, so...
Well, that lends itself straight into the fact that CNN and many of its affiliates believe that there is this oppressive patriarchy, which Stefan Molyneux and many other libertarians have already refuted. There is no patriarchy. There is no such thing as white male privilege because, as you and I could probably know, we're white, we're male, where the fuck are our handouts? So that's a side issue, and there's a special wink to somebody that we all know who will disagree with me on that. But anyways,
okay,
it's one of these things that obviously no real children are being hurt, and obviously it's going to be horrible if children get their hands on this kind of thing, and this is where responsible parenting comes in.
Yeah, it will be bad if children get their hands on it. But again, you're right. Parenting. Isn't that the whole point of parenting, is to monitor what your kid is doing?
And to bring them up in the way they should go. It's that simple.
So Matt Walton in the comments points out that, and I should have pointed this out myself, that yes, Ken Akamatsu is one of my favorite manga artists for the Mahou Sensei Negima, where a kid who's a male goes to Japan to teach English and magic to Japanese girl students twice his age. To which Slipknot JRW 1993 says, "Straight Shota for the win." I'll let you guess what straight Shota means.
Now, see, I'm completely ignorant when it comes to animes and mangas. I mean, the only manga I've ever read is like this Dragon Knight series or whatever. That was entertaining for all of 5 minutes for me. But
I mean, it's not for everyone, but
if artists can't do what they want to do, and let's just say, for example, that a writer or an animator wants to do a show that involves crime, a CSI type shenanigans.
Yeah.
Inevitably, you have to do a story about a child getting raped or kidnapped or something horrible happening to them.
Law and Order of SVU does this.
Exactly.
Nobody's taken that show yet. Like, nobody's taken to that show. So another really famous thing that Ken Akamatsu is famous for is he did the Love Hina series. Love Hina? I think it's Love Hina, which is basically, it's a harem show. A harem show basically means that it's one guy, one central main male character, and he's surrounded by all sorts of Japanese women who all might secretly want him, might not secretly want him, might openly want. Okay, basically, right? It's one of those shows, You see it on TV all the time. So he's famous for that, and I think almost all the characters in his show were underaged. So, like, I'm not saying he doesn't have a personal stake in this, because if they pass this, a lot of his work would also be put down. Love Hina was one of his most successful series. It was so successful, it was one of the ones of his work that got an anime adaptation. Put it animated and put it on TV, and Shaggy PC points out that it's August 1st. Thank you. But yeah, I don't know. But let me ask you this, Adam, on this subject. Is there anything that you don't have to go full answer on this, but is there anything that you personally that has that someone has tried to put a group together to have censorship happen?
Oh, for sure. I mean, obviously the video game stuff. The big rail against GTA back in the day. Thankfully that's all died down again, and I don't think it's going to come back, especially considering how much advertising that was done for Grand Theft Auto on the networks that carried CNN and Fox News. So kudos to the companies for actually buying out and quieting them down using their own profits. Which, again, in a free market society, if you're going to run, if a news organization would want to run hate on you, and you pay them to promote your product, they'll shut their lip really, really damn quick. Obviously, there's this ban of guns that's always being threatened. I'm a big gun supporter. I don't have any personal firearms, but my father and I basically share a cache of guns that, if we need to, we will use it, and obviously we like to hunt with it. And obviously there's this whole internet censorship thing that people are trying to take away from me, but nothing in particular like a particular media such as,
anime, manga,
child pornography type stuff in.
And you know what? It's
not even child pornography even.
No, that's the thing. Some of the stuff they're trying to ban is, blatant pornography, right? And it's sold as the pretense of, 18 plus pornography, right? And then some of the stuff they're trying to ban isn't even. It's like it comes close. It's perverted stuff, but it's not outright pornography. So in the article, one of the welfare workers in Japan says that, oh, you're gonna love this, Adam. It says that the material is being used to groom children. As if there's not enough stuff in a modern society that already grooms children towards being, overtly sexual anyways, right?
Right, like all the billboards that are plastered all over Japan in general before you even get into the lolicon type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like that isn't what's going to sexualize them.
No, it's
It's the
the animated.
cartoon.
Yeah, it's the cartoons and the comics, right? So, oh my god.
And correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, you're much more of a expert on anime and manga stuff than I am. But how much of the sexualized anime stuff is actually on television? How much? I don't
As
think there
far
would
as
really
I
be any.
know, that might be a question for another resident expert in the audience, Slipknot JRW 1993. I know he likes this stuff. Maybe he'd know, but as far as I know, there are some late night special type stuff where you pay for it, like pay-per-view, as far as I know. And Japan has this really weird thing where even if you buy the porn, right? Like let's say you buy the private copy of the porn, you buy your DVD and you take it home, right? Whether
Right.
it's cartoon or real, you still have to censor the privates. Boobs are fine, but down south, even if it's your own personal copy that you bought with your hard-earned money, nope.
Yeah, that's I find that funny. I know exactly what you're talking about. I kind of outed myself on that, but anyways,
But
it's
it's
one of
so
these things.
random. But I don't think this is all on TV for the kids to watch. I mean,
Right. My point being that in a real life application of animation in this style, this stuff is either late night, which the children should not be up at that point anyways, or if they are, the parents should be monitoring what they're watching.
hmm
The stuff that is during the child watching hours, which is usually from 3 to 6 or from 5 to 7, like 5 to 7
hmm
a.m. or 3 to 6 p.m. That's going, yes, I know, by American times, and the schools in Japan are psycho
well,
different with their hours and whatnot, but that's the point. You get a couple hours after
Slipknot,
school, a couple
Slipknot
hours before
JRW,
school.
Slipknot JRW says that most of it is on, but it's late night. When when the kids should be in bed anyway. So, moot
Right.
point.
So that
And
we point one for us on that, and you also factor in that if they're going to go and ban sexuality in general, they really need to look at all their movies and all their other television stuff that has to be on when children may be awake. If
hmm
they're going to try to go after this kind of stuff, that's what they should go after. Obviously, we are advocates of complete
yeah,
anarchy, so fuck those people.
yeah. So like in the article, so he says the porn isn't on the TV, but the pervy stuff is on late night. So it's not even the pornographic stuff. So, and in one of the reports, one of the legislators who supports this was pointing out that, oh yeah, remember that one guy who stabbed that 7-year-old girl? We found a bunch of um, we child pornography. They wouldn't say if it was real or animated, but all they would say was, we found a lot of child pornography at his house. Like, so what?
Correlation is not causation. That's my
Exactly. Like,
response.
if I kill someone, are we gonna blame it on Helsing? I don't think so. Which, by the
If
way,
I
is
kill someone, are
fucking
we going to
good.
reference all of my Josh Groban CDs
Yeah.
and my Michael Bublé DVDs?
hmm
No, or the fucking dog back there? No,
Yeah.
I don't think so. I murder
Dog
someone out of
owners and murderers and child molesters. Like,
yeah.
okay.
Well, they would just say I've got a past in bestiality because I've got this in the background.
Which is really funny that I don't I forgot what I was gonna say, but yeah. So before we continue, good manga, good anime, especially Ultimate Anime. Anyways, but yeah, it's just so bizarre. It's like the reason I picked this up was I don't like Lolicon, but I am a huge anime fan. All right, like this season alone, I'm watching Hunter x Hunter, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, One Piece, Hamatora, Agami Got Kill. I watched Nobunaga recently. Attack on Titan. Well, Attack on Titan's pretty old now, but I mean, and this is all the modern stuff that I'm watching. This isn't even like the stuff I've watched a really long time ago. I'm a pretty big. I'm pointing at my TV like you guys can see it or something. But like, as an anime fan myself, and I know people who like the lolicon stuff, and like they're not like freaks of nature. They're just people that happen to enjoy it, Oh, okay, my friend kind of a freak, but I
That's
don't hold
besides
it
the point.
against. Yeah, I don't hold it against him, and he's not going around. But the
You
point of
probably
this,
like him more because of it.
yeah, probably, ha ha ha. But he's not going around molesting children or anything. Like, what? Should we lock him up for, watching some cartoons? Like, well, what's next,
And one thing that nobody seems to realize, and especially the politicians, obviously because they've got a state interest in it, they've got to want to have all control on anything that involves any kind of child. They're the child rearing experts, apparently. That's what everybody claims. The government should do all the education and all that. But what they don't understand is if this was something that was so despicable and something that the general population, who is what most of this is somewhat marketed for, the market would revolt against it. They would revolt against this, and this would become not profitable because people would say, "Oh, look, this is disgusting. This is despicable. This is showing, children essentially going at it." Now, then you throw in the fact that they're 5,000-year-old monsters. Then, okay, magically it's okay, but it's still children-like portrayals.
And you know what?
I think it's weird, but it's not my thing.
And not only is there childlike portrayals, there's still shows with actual children in them. And like you said, if this was so bad in their society specifically, well, in all societies, if this was so bad, there wouldn't be a market for it. And in Japan, there's definitely a market for it because it's a pretty big chunk of the industry of both anime and manga. So
exactly, and also the price would go up. If it became something that was such in high demand, but we see the price falling, I would imagine, because everybody wants it, or at least everybody, well, there's several million at least, that like this kind of stuff. That price is going to continually drop. And then if you throw this ban on there, that price is going to go up. That's not going to help anybody economically. It's going to be nothing but bad news, just like all prohibition is. All protectionist laws do nothing but increase the price of whatever good you're trying to protect against. And you waste people's money, you destroy people's lives, because what are they going to do? They're going to do illegal ways to try to get that or get the money to receive that product. And that never ends well for anyone.
And not only are we talking about, what was I going to say? We're not only talking about, people that are trying to read it and watch it. What about the artists who are drawing it and making it, What happens to them? I mean, sure, they could go on to draw other projects, but I mean, there's only so many projects you can,
As someone who's somewhat of an artist, I sing opera, and I do that here at the local university. If the state was going to ban opera and say, "Oh, if you're gonna sing something, go and sing pop or go and sing country," I couldn't do that.
You don't want to. Yeah,
I don't want to. It's not my passion. It's not where my skill set lies. These people have a skill set in drawing childlike proportions of just epic sexual nature. They make these tits that are just so fantastically good looking on children. And I know I sound like a sicko saying this, but they're good at that. Why should we ruin what they're really, really good at? It'd be like saying, "Oh, hey, this person who drew the Mona Lisa or a copy of a Mona Lisa,
oh yeah,
some fantastical painting, go and do caricatures," because that's what the market is now, right? And they would be complete shit at it, I'd imagine.
Hey, you who reproduced the Mona Lisa, could you draw this child pornography for me? Like, they would look at you like you're crazy. It's like, I don't know how to draw that, and you'd be like, "But you draw, right? Isn't it all the same?" And it's like, no, not really.
That's like taking that Bob Ross guy off of TV and say, "Hey, go draw anime," or taking the anime guy and say, "Hey, go draw happy clouds and trees that flow in the wind next to a river that is just
happy accidents, right?"
Yeah.
Oh, that's all it really was just it got popular because it was all just a happy accident.
Oh,
Someone's gonna shoot me. Slipknot JRW? Here, I'll put it right on screen. Slipknot JRW 1993 says, I guess it's not gonna refresh on my screen, but he says, "Amen." Amen. I'm not sure who he was saying amen to, but it was obviously one of us, or both of us.
It's likely both of us because we're both that badass.
I know, right? I'm just so cool,
You goddamn right you are.
But, it's, it is what it is. I mean, like
And
I
this is
said, I know it's probably not going to pass because if it passed, there'd be a lot of angry people, and I think you're right. There would definitely be a lot of new incidents of child endangerment within the first 2 years at least. And this is only in Japan, not to talk about the crazies all over the rest of the world that rely on these Japanese artists to get it from get their rocks off. So I guess.
Well, and here's a real world example of something to think of. They made a huge push against the Grand Theft Auto franchise back, even just a couple of years ago. And that was during the GTA 3 and 4 days, whatever. GTA 5. I have yet to see a report. Now, I could just be blissfully ignorant because I haven't searched this stuff, and I don't plan on Googling it because I'll probably put my foot in my mouth. But fuck it. I can almost say that there has been very few, if any, people who have said, I played Grand Theft Auto, or I watched these violent action movies, The Expendables, and stuff like that, and it made me want to go and do those crimes too. No, it is much more economically efficient to do these crimes or to think about these crimes through these media. There is no risk. There is a little bit of psychic satisfaction and reward, and maybe you can level up in GTA, but you're not going to get caught by the cops. You're not going to get hurt. You're not going to put yourself and your family in danger. Same with these guys. This shit's weird to me. I've got nothing against it, but it's just I would never personally partake in it. But these guys, they like to go and watch essentially children have sex in an animated fashion. And I would much rather, again, like I said, have them do that and get themselves off watching it on a screen for essentially free or for whatever price they paid than taking the risk of going out and doing the same to children. That's just where my preference lies.
I guess the question is, Matt. Sorry, I was looking at the comments. But if Matt's here, he can answer this too. I guess the question comes down to is, why do you think they're pushing so hard? Is there an ulterior motive for this, for these lobbyists who hate it so much?
Well, and that's interesting. I haven't done very much digging because, again, you bringing this up to me the other day is the first time I ever heard about this sort of ban trying to go into effect. It wouldn't surprise me if some of the lobbyists who are pushing behind this have their own art that they want to push because they're not getting enough credit in the market because their product is not what's in demand. Maybe Lolicon is the future for the next decade of what's going to be good, marketable, and profitable entertainment and media. For the anime culture, but maybe these people are wanting to come in with pro-government messages, and people are like, nah, fuck that shit. So I don't know. I'm speaking completely out of my ass. It's pure conjecture there, but there may be an ulterior motive.
No,
but,
it sounds pretty good to me.
Again, so this is backed with zero facts whatsoever. So don't come crying to me when you say I'm wrong. I will retract that statement happily if somebody can prove me wrong. But that's just my theory.
Matt Walton says, as far as games go, the media just focuses on the frustration that some games are supposed to make people feel. You died a shit ton of times. You're not going to get that satisfaction. Of course you're going to be mad. But at the same time, Matt, you're right. But I don't know what it's like where you live, but here in the States, they went when GTA 4 came out, and when what was San Andreas was out, all right? I don't know if you remember the whole hot coffee mod thing. Yeah. Remember how ballistic the media went when that was found?
Yeah,
and,
my God.
And how many politicians were like, this has to stop, to the point where even Rockstar had to cave into that one and get rid of it in future copies of the game.
Right, it's just one of those things that people use media and use entertainment, and I especially love when they use video games to vent whatever political frustrations they have out there, or just any frustrations in general. There's a series of games that I just saw Jacksepticeye play on his channel. Yes, I am plugging him. Go check him out, for the love of God, if you're a gamer. Watch him. He is literally the fastest growing young gaming YouTuber on right now. He's fantastic.
Don't forget my channel.
Well, yeah, don't forget the Atlantic.
Don't forget the Atlantic Bromance.
Yeah, so check them out. They're spectacular too. Sometimes, no, they're awesome. No, seriously, Tab is fantastic. I am super happy that I've gotten to start to watch that as one of their first viewers. Anyways, this guy Jacksepticeye did a series called Whack Your, which is whack your boss, whack your ex-girlfriend, or whack your teacher, which is all where you use various items on your screen to kill your boss, your teacher, your ex. Is that not something that could be potentially dangerous? Did that person probably go and make all these out of frustration because, his teacher, his ex, and his boss are all assholes and he wants to kill them? Guess what? He didn't commit an actual crime. He did these because he wanted to forego making a crime and just vent his frustrations. He chose the economically precise and economically proficient means to go and vent his frustration as opposed to going out and murdering them and spending time in prison.
I'm going to stop you right there, Adam, because it is almost 9:30, and we are running out of time. So do you have any last-minute things you want to say to the audience before we stop broadcasting?
Fuck the state, go video games, and I want to see those animated children fucking.
He's so blunt about it. All right, guys. This is Chuck, the Liberty Geek, saying that don't judge anime by Lolicon. Please, for the love of God. There's some good shows out there. Black Lagoon, Hamatora, Darker Than Black, just to name 3 of them. Ghost in the Shell, 4. But you know what? Even still, if you don't like it, you can't just go trampling other people's, rights of free speech. So, you know what? That's the message that I'm going to leave for tonight is don't trample other people's free speech. Good night, everyone.
Good night.